Hello, my friends. Welcome back. My name is Tumitladi, and this is my world of programming. I'm back with another video number 8. Before we get into today's lesson, what I want to show you, remember these are random topics, and I cover a lot in most of these projects, right? Because I'm still going to cover Azure DevOps and show you how Azure DevOps, plays a major role. I'm still going to cover what is this, Azure functions, or everything about Azure, storage account, how do I upload. Before we get into that, please watch the previous video number 7 where we looked at the caching in .NET MAUI, which is for Android and iOS. Please watch that video and you won't be disappointed. Now, if this is the very first time watching this video, please make sure that you really pay attention. If you're concerned about something, if you are excited about something, if you found this video helpful, please write something nice. If you do have any questions, leave it on the comment section below. If you like it, I'll be mostly appreciated. And subscribe, please. So, in this video, I want to talk about logging in the web applications using Sentry. So we're going to use this Sentry to log whatever we need to log, and I'm going to show you how I went about it on Covered Issue platform. Sounds good? Let's get started. Right, so logging, right? When you start this project, ASP.NET Core for MVC, probably with Web API or Razor Pages, you're going to get a login by default, Microsoft login, like the system login, I don't like that. I've never used it. I just get rid of it. So here's a scenario. When you go to university or college where they teach you programming, because I think they did a lot of damage back in university. They did a lot of damage. They taught us based on the textbook, not based on the real world. No one could show us of what they worked on. So they taught us about, the exceptions, exception handling. There's a topic I remember there, exception handling. And then that's it. So I'm going to show you using Sentry to log certain aspects of the application that are important. Now, let's begin with going to dependencies, packages. I want you to see a couple of things. There's a Sentry.Serilog. That's what you need to have. Then you need the Serilog.ASP.NET Core. That's what you need for ASP.NET Core specifically. And then you also need Serilog.Syncs.Sentry for ASP.NET Core. I hope this makes sense. So you need these 4 packages to get this thing running. Right. So we are done with this one. Now let's go. Where do you set it up? Normally you go to a program.class .cs, which is a class, program class, right? And put it somewhere here. But remember, I register all my installers using install extension, right? So you're gonna go to installers, and I like to break them into pieces, and that's what I did here, to break them into pieces, right? So I do have a class specifically for this logging, which is a Serilog installer. If I open, right? So what you're going to notice, I'm not going to get into it, but it implements this interface iInstaller, and this is the method that's required, right? Now it's going to expect the iService collection and iConfiguration, right? We need the services and the configuration, right? And then, even if you're not going to use them, but this is a must for most of the installers. So then you say log. So where does log come from? It comes from Serilog, right? And where is this Serilog? If you go to global usings, remember there's a video that I made specifically that showed of this class and how it's important. So remember those packages, or one of them here it is, using Sentry. You're gonna say using Serilog and using Serilog.event. So you need these 3 global usings on your global usings class, right? So that's why we were able to get log.logger. Then you're gonna say new logger configuration. Then that's where you start. There's a method that says, or rather, one of the property is write to, right? Write to Sentry, but you can write to a couple of things. So, but in this case, I'm going to write it to Sentry and I'm passing options. One of the options is DNS. So before I continue with the DNS and everything, if you go to Sentry.io, Sentry.io, I already have a project with them, and their documentation, it's a very outstanding. It will walk you through on how to set it up, create a project and all that. You can even use a free version, but you can also upgrade. And I just want to give back to Sentry because they helped me a lot. They really, really helped me a lot. So thank you, Sentry, again, for this incredible platform. It's easier and it's fast, right? So they will give you the DNS for your project, right? So you're just going to put it there, right? Then one of the options is minimum breadcrumb level. So on the log level event, it's going to be the error. And then minimum event level, it's also going to be the error of log event level. And when you're done, you're just going to say create logger. Then that's all you have to do here. So where do you get to use it? Let me first show you on a different part of the system, which is the areas. This is where I deal with the identity part of the system, like logging, register, logout, forgot password, and so forth. Let me use the example of, let's start with the MVC, something I'm working on currently, right? So this is the MVC part of the system. So let's say where the customer adds a business info, as you can see, this is HTTP post. So one of the first things that you need to do before you work with logging, well, at least in my case, wrap everything inside try and catch block. Like I said, university messed up without somebody showing their work so that we can learn from somebody who's teaching that particular module. We were taught based on a textbook, like I said, especially when it comes to error handling. Yes, they did tell us about a try and catch block, right? But we were never taught logging. What happens if your program has, your application has issues? How do you get to see it? They didn't even teach us the deployment, like how do you deploy web forms? That was web then. How do you deploy WinForms? That was the software part of it. Android, we didn't get it to deploying. We only deployed to the physical device, right? Or the emulator. But the emulator is there, physical device is there. But how do we on a centralized platform read the problems in that application? So it's fine. So now we have a try. Try this. If one of them has issues, please go and catch the exception. Don't just let the web application or mobile application, software application crash, or don't let your system crash. Rather communicate with the end user. So there are a couple of things I want to say. One of them, I do logging. I log the error. As you saw, I don't care about the warning, the information. They don't serve the purpose for this system. I care about errors. So log.error, it expects a couple of things, an exception and a template, right? So the exception, obviously, I want a general exception. So I'm gonna pass in EX exactly as it is, not the message or stack trace, nothing. Then the second thing, remember, it says a message template, right? So here I'm gonna say use string interpolation because this controller or this page on this controller, it needs someone to be authenticated. So one way I do it that I can help you to understand is when this happens, at least you know who was executing this operation. And this will give you a lot of insight as to this particular user. When they attempted to add a business info on the platform, this happened, right? So that can give you a lot about that particular user and their behavior and so forth. Hence, I'm saying user.identity.name. That's all I care. I don't need their ID. I just need their name because I have access to all their names, right? And I say cost exception on their business info, but this is the add page. And this was HTTP post page. So let me explain what I did. There's an add, right? Which is they're adding something. What are they adding? Business info. What is an operation HTTP post? But you also know that we can do a lot on get. In this case, I'm just viewing the page. It's a blank page where you need to fill in some stuff. But look at the dashboard. It's also HTTP get, but I'm doing a whole lot of stuff here. And I want to use this example because this is one of the things that I myself am guilty of. Where is try and catch block? Because I'm talking to the services multiple times. But where is try and catch block? This is something I'm gonna fix. I saw this a couple of days ago while I was making one of the videos, but I'm gonna come back. But I wanted to show you that this is something I'm working on, but I forgot to do try and catch block here, which is the problem. All right, so going back to this one. Then you do Sentry.sdk. You see it comes from Sentry. .capture that what exception. So this will work with Sentry based on the syncs, right? And then not only do you need to do this, you need to communicate it to the end user in a nice, efficient manner. I'm probably going to do a video about the alerts on how I show different alerts. But in this case, I'm saying, sorry, we could not submit the ad at the moment. Please try again. Then what I do, and I return the view, but with the same state as it was prior. So there's a lot you can do here. These are the things that you need to do thereafter when you have dealt with the log and sending the whatever is that you are logging, the exception, warning, or error, right? So that's one. Then let's go to this account. Like I said, the login page. Let's show the login page. So logging on the login page, when you click, if you were to go here, give it a couple of seconds to load. If you were to click the button that says login, this will get hit, right? This doesn't have to be inside the try and catch block, but there is a try and catch block. I do a lot. Do this, do that, do that, do that. And even if there's a problem, you see there's a helper method here, login failed message, I pass in something there and here. But if something really gone wrong, log.error, passing the exact exception as it is because I need it. Then I'm going to say anonymous because remember you haven't logged in. So this is what you have done. Log in and then you attempted to click something. When you press this button, if something were to go wrong, and this will tell you that yeah, no, something it's wrong. So that will be anonymous who caused the exception the login HTTP post page. Again, Sentry SDK capture exception, and then I'm saying sorry we could not submit the login at the moment, and then I return the page as it is. Always make sure that when you return the page, do you want it to return to the same page, or do you want to redirect to a different page? If you return to the same page, do you want to persist the data? Always be mindful of that. So let me do something here and do this, and then I want to fire this guy, but before we fire, I think here let's try, let's say I don't know, I want to cause an exception. How do we cause an exception? Or what would be a thing that will cause an exception? Okay. All right. When we add in the phone, when we're sending confirmation, if I were to change this and say password, will the exception okay? Let's try it. Run without debugging. I want to do something that will cause the exception. I know a couple of ways. It's just that they contain sensitive things that I don't want to tamper with. But I do know. But I just want to show you that how the exceptions are going all the way that side. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna wait for you. And this is my super long password. Let's see. It might not find it, the account, but I want to trigger an exception. You know why it's taking so long? Firstly, I'm talking to my local database that's hosted in Azure, and that database is Sleeps. Did you know that? And then there was an exception that would usually occur because when that database is in a sleeping state. There we go. There's an exception. At least we trigger an exception. Sorry, we could not submit the login at the moment. Please try again later. Let's go and see. You see here, if I were to refresh this, what do you think what would happen? Because it's unresolved. Check this. There's one. There we go. 22 seconds ago. And this one, it's what? It's 2 months old. Here it talks about a network-related or instance-specific error occurred while establishing. I don't want to get into that because I know what that is. It has to do with the database. In fact, there is a network-related, that means I'm communicating to a database, but a different kind of database. Because if I'm in local host, I need to connect it to this specific database. So it created this exception. But I'm not going to get into that because it's going to reveal some stuff. So as you can see, but this is good. 22 seconds ago, but it's 2 months old, right? And an event, 2 of them for 1 user, and the priority is high. Obviously, what you can do, you can say mark it as resolved, or you can set a priority. I'm not going to get into how Sentry is, but I just want to show you that the exception came this side. It's just that this one I won't be able to show because I know it has the sensitive stuff. But what I can do, I can remove this. Remove that and just get maybe all of them. Let's see. For example, I was working on something 3 days ago and then I remembered I cannot make the changes. This one has to do, let's open this one. So this one has to do with the DB update exception, right? Now, here are the details. I resolved it. It happened obviously 2 days ago. So another thing that it also linked to my GitHub because they suspect a commit, this one, the edit page of businesses for crew, right? But this is the message that this person caused exception on businesses when I was trying to edit on the post. And it talks about it. This is the stack trace. It helps a lot. Did I handle? Yes, right? I was trying to do something here on this table, and then I could not do that because I did not need to do that, so it was a mistake. And you can also get more information about this. So this is something I want to show you. Go back. So there are a couple of exceptions that I dealt with. Do you understand? There's a lot of them. And this one, the SSL one could not be established 4 weeks ago. Do you understand? There's a lot. So this is all about Sentry. But I want to show a couple of things that are very important. That yes, I show a friendly message. If you go back, by the way, I'm back to the login. Do you understand? I'm back to the login. And there we go. If you found this video helpful, please stay tuned for more videos. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like this video, bookmark it, save it. But trust me, you're going to see more of exception. I'm probably going to make a video on how do I go about it on .NET MAUI. If you want to know that, let me know in the comment section below. And until next time.